everybody, and welcome to Drag Racing today, and a big show for you. We're going to feature Top Fuel from the meeting on the first weekend of November out at Adelaide International Raceway. It was round one of the Australian Championships. Later on, Sharon will catch up with Rachelle Splatt as she heads off into the world of glitz and glamour. We'll also meet a couple of young South Australian ladies who are not only accomplished motor racing drivers, but they've joined Rachelle in issuing a great calendar. But more on that a bit later on. Joining me on the couch, as usual, is former Australian funny car champion Geoff Pratt. And Geoff, welcome to the show.
Thanks, Bruce. It's great to be here once again.
Now, Top Fuel, it is the ultimate in drag racing, isn't it?
I'm still buzzing after the weekend. It was absolutely fantastic. Qualifying, I couldn't believe it.
Now, an old mate of yours, Jim Reed, 15 times Australian Top Fuel champion. Yeah. He's going to join us a bit later on.
Yeah, the old fella's going to come in and, like, the guy just keeps winning, and I just can't believe his enthusiasm that he's got after... he's been the champion 15 times, like a world record, and he's still fired up, and I haven't seen him so fired up for years, actually.
Well, he came here to Adelaide International Raceway for round one of the Australian Championship. Let's go now to Friday night action in Top Fuel, and it is first qualifying.
Yes, thanks, Bruce, as we move into the Greenhouse Superstores qualifying session number 1.
That's right, it is, Michael, with our main man here from New South Wales. It's Jim Reed driving for Gregory's Automotive in the Greenhouse Superstores lane.
Yes, Jim Reed, he is a 15-time Australian Top Fuel champion. What a credit to his name. Also, the last time we saw Jim Reed was 1995.
Great run from Jim Reed of 5:31. Okay, now let's move on to the second pairing here for Greenhouse Superstores qualifying. It's Steve Reed in the Greenhouse Superstores lane. Now he's driving for Sano Rapasada in the Sano's Frames Top Fuel Dragster. Now we move over to the Texamoy Performance Coolers lane. It's Robert Kirby driving for Pensor all the way from Bendigo in Victoria.
As you mentioned, Tommy Steve Reed, he's actually the fastest man in Australia. He's run a 298.4 mile per hour pass. That is 480 kilometres per hour. Can he improve that this weekend? We'll find out a bit later, Monica.
Oh, we surely will. Both cars moving into stage for Greenhouse Superstores qualifying.
Troubles for Kirby. Steve Reed goes through with a 5.10, 389 k's per hour.
He's in number 1, but now let's move on to the Queen of Speed. It's Rachelle Splatt, also from Victoria. She's driving the Valvolaine's Cummins Top Fuel Dragster. Now she's in the Greenhouse Superstores lane.
As you're talking about Rachelle Splatt there, Monica, she is the defending event champion from last year here at Adelaide International Raceway. Can she carry it out one more time? We'll find out at the end of this event.
Well, that puts Rachelle Splatt into number 2 position.
Well, some great action there from first qualifying on Friday night. Steve Reed at 5.1, that's a pretty good run.
That was brilliant for Steve, straight off the trail, and that put him straight on top of the heap.
Rachelle Splatt 5.18, just behind him.
Oh yeah, just squeaking in there.
And Darren DeFilippo, he's the Australian record holder, decided not to run.
No, well, Darren traditionally does that. He usually goes a one-shot qualifier, and he just wasn't happy with the conditions on Friday night, so he said, I'm waiting for Saturday.
We'll wait to see how he goes on Saturday night. Well, time for a break here on Drag Racing today, but when we come back, Sharon catches up with Rachelle Splatt.
Thanks very much, Mike, and thank you very much, Rachelle Splatt. Love to see you back in Top Fuel drag racing.
Welcome back to Drag Racing today, and before we see some more great action from Top Fuel qualifying, let's meet a young lady who's made her mark in Top Fuel. Sharon caught up with Rachelle Splatt.
First it was Rachelle's performance behind the wheel turning heads. Now it's her talent in front of the camera gaining everyone's attention. Rachelle, tell us about your new project.
Okay, my new project is a calendar that I've put together with 10 girls and myself for the year 2000. We're all looking very feminine. Very nice shots of the girls, and the reason I decided to do this calendar was to raise money for the girls. All the profits made from the calendar will go directly back to the girls, divided between them, and hopefully help them in their career, boost their sport that they're in, or just help them go one step higher.
So it was you that came up with the original idea?
Yes, it was me. I was a bit tired of seeing not very nice photos of myself floating around in magazines and newspapers and things like that. And even though they're nice, because they're good memories for racing, but I thought it'd be a nice thing for all of our fans and people that follow us to actually see that we can be feminine women and race cars very well and win. And that was my reasons.
And something to show the grandkids down the track.
Yes, that's true.
So what was the other girls' reaction when you suggested the calendar?
The other girls loved the idea. They were very excited when I approached them. They thought it was great. Every girl loves to have their hair and makeup done and have really nice photos taken of themselves, and they like people to see them. So I think it's every woman's dream to have that done. And
So how much input did the other girls and yourself have in your outfits and the sort of shots that you used?
Well, myself and Sarah Jane, a good friend of mine, we chose all the outfits. Now the girls actually agreed or disagreed. They chose the outfit that they wore, and they also chose their favourite photo of the shoot to go in the calendar, because they have to be happy with the photo that all their fans see, and it's out for 12 months. So they had the final say.
What was your first reaction when you saw your first photo come off the camera?
I was very happy. I was very, very happy. This is probably the first time I've actually had professional photos done of myself in this way, and I think they're a great thing to have and to keep as you get older and show your grandkids and everything. So I'm very proud of it. I love it.
The shots are wonderful, and of course everyone is asking, where are the calendars available and how much do they cost?
Okay, it's available from mail order in Auto Action and Motorsport News, available from my own company, Dragway Wheels. It's available at Autobarns throughout Australia, and also various automotive retail outlets throughout Australia. There'll be lots of varied people, so I can't sort of give actual names. People will just have to keep an eye out in automotive stores.
And also we hear this is your final chapter in your drag racing career.
Yes, this is my final chapter. It is a little bit sad to know it's my last year, and I'm probably going to be very sad on my last race. But I've got lots of things to look forward to, lots of new career opportunities, and the next 10 years will be just as exciting as the last 10 years. And it's, I'm happy that I am retiring to spend time with my family as well.
Of course, because you have got your new baby at home, so you'll be spending a lot more time with her as well, I guess?
Yes, I'll definitely spend a lot more time with her. I've missed out a lot in the first year of growing up with her, so I will definitely be spending so much time with her and hopefully having another little brother or sister for her.
We look forward to hearing the good news, and we certainly thank Rachelle for all the good memories and achievements she's given us, and we wish her every success for the future.
Yes, Rachelle Splatt there, and great to see her make it to Adelaide International Raceway for the last time before she hangs up the driving gloves. Also good to see her branch out in the world of glitz and glamour with the calendar Beauty and Their Beasts. She features on the front cover, but the calendar also features a couple of young South Australian ladies. They're accomplished motor racing drivers. They join us here on Drag Racing Today. We welcome Lisa Sherry on the left and Karen Brewer. Welcome to the show.
Thanks, Bruce. Good to be here.
Now, Karen, we saw the calendar and Rachelle features, but how did you get involved?
Well, she rang me up and she basically said, "Oh, do you want to be in a calendar? Look really glamorous." And I said, "Yep, why not?"
What do you think of the end product?
Yeah, it looks fabulous. I'm really happy with it.
Now, Lisa, what did you think when the call came through that suddenly we can take the driving suit off and put the makeup, lights, camera? It's a bit of a glamour world.
Very surprised at first, but it was an opportunity that I definitely couldn't pass up, and it was great fun to do.
Did Rachelle mention the glamour, the perhaps suggestive attitude of the calendar?
She did, but it was in a tasteful manner, so you can live with that.
Karen, now the photo shoot itself, all the glitz and the glamour, now it's something new to you. You must have been nervous, but how does it compare with building around Mount Panorama?
Not as sweaty. Driving around Bathurst, it's pretty full on. You basically come out of the car drenched, but after you come out of a photo shoot, you basically got lots of makeup on and you're not really that sweaty. So yeah, it's pretty good. The
photo came up fantastic.
Yeah.
Now, back to the touring cars. Now, it is a male-dominated sport. How hard is it for a woman in that sport?
It's pretty hard. I mean, it's an endurance race, Bathurst. You've got to have the muscles and the stamina and all the rest of that stuff to be able to drive a car around the track. It's pretty full on.
Now that is endurance driving. Now, Lisa, you're in drag racing, which is all over in the blink of an eye, hopefully.
Yeah.
How hard is it, once again, for a woman in a sport like drag racing?
Well, there are a lot of women in drag racing. You don't hear about them as often. A lot of young girls are coming up through the ranks. A lot of interest from girls asking me questions how to get into the sport. It's really good to see. There are even a lot of female bike riders. And I've been around drag racing for a long time, so it perhaps wasn't as difficult for me to make the transition, but the transition is definitely getting easier.
I was going to ask, we saw Rachelle Splatt, obviously a driving force behind the calendar. How important it was for women in drag racing that she did so well and got so far in top fuel?
It's vital. Publicity, publicity, publicity. Rachelle is a professional and she's great at what she does, and it's the key to the success of the calendar.
And Karen, you happy with the end result in the calendar?
Yeah, it's turned out really, really well. I'm happy with it.
Lisa, happy with the photo?
Very happy. Very professional.
All right, excellent. Thanks for joining us here on Drag Racing today. Of course, the calendar, you've seen it. We've got 6 to give away. We'll tell you exactly how to do that a little bit later on in the show. But right now, let's get back to top fuel. And now we go to the Saturday qualifying session.
That's right, we do, Bruce, with the second qualifying session here of Greenhouse Superstores qualifying.
And Darren DeFilippo takes on the Greenhouse Superstores lane. We go to the Tectaloid Performance Coolants lane. We see Jim Reed.
That's right. Now, Darren DeFilippo out there in the Greenhouse Superstores lane got a brand new sponsor, a big sponsor on board, Redback Performance Exhaust.
Yes, Darren DeFilippo, he's the rookie of Top Fuel Drag Racing in Australia. He does hold the national ET record at 4.83 seconds. We go back to Jim Reed. He is the grandfather of Top Fuel Drag Racing in Australia, the exact opposite end of the ladder. Let's find out and see who's the quicker qualifier.
I love the paint job on board the Jim Reed racing helmet. Okay, this is Top Fuel qualifying here, session 2, DeFilippo versus Reed. Sharon's down the deep end for Mega Power Car Care products.
Darren, first time down the track, top qualifier, 5.05.
Yeah, it's not a bad run first off. Car moved around a bit. We sort of had an oil problem, but we'll come back and get at it.
Jim Reed, 5.211 this time.
Yeah, very happy with that. It's an improvement from before. We shut off about 800 feet. A bit windy out there, lifting the front end off the ground.
As we take a look at the Queen of Speed, Rachelle Splatt takes on the Tectaloid Performance Coolants lane. We go to the Greenhouse Superstores lane. Who do we have? The Pennzoil man, Robin Kirby.
Yes, that is the man. Now, he's the 1998-99 Top Fuel Championship. And, well, he was a really strong competitor. His best run for himself was a 5.003, knocking on the door of the 4-second run.
As we go back to Rachelle Splatt, she is the defending event champion here at Adelaide International Raceway. This time last year, she was the winner. Can she do it again this time round? We'll find out a bit later.
We find out tonight. Now, Robin Kirby, who's the Greenhouse Superstores lane, he had problems in qualifying last night. Blew a blower belt off. He needs a good run down this qualifying session now.
There's only one more qualifying session after this. If Robin Kirby can't get his act together, he could be in big trouble. It could be very costly.
Well, Robin Kirby's got problems again. Sharon's down the deep end for Mega Power Car Care.
Robin, what happened out there?
Looks like they've thrown a blower belt off, same as what I did last night. But no, the car was running really well until that point. So we just put another one on for the next round and see how we go.
Rachelle, amazing pass there, one of the fastest speeds, 282.3, and so close to a 4-second pass, 5.002.
Yeah, it was a good pass. 5.0 we ran, we top qualified, so we're happy with that. It was a bit of a rough pass. It shook a little bit and it moved around, so that probably took a bit of speed off the car. So, but we're happy with it.
And it's only going to get better tonight.
Well, yeah, that's what we planned on. We really hope so.
Isn't it amazing how cool, calm and collected Rachelle Splatt really is? That's top stuff from the young lady, I can tell you.
Okay, now we've got Steve Reed driving for Sandoz Cranes once again in the Tectaloid Performance Coolants lane. Now, last night he actually took #1 position, but now Rachelle Splatt has bumped him out.
Oh, tough stuff here in qualifying once again. Have a look at this injector hat on board this machine here, Monica. It's a Kevlar type. It does give them guys a little bit more horsepower. That is the winning edge.
Now the guys are hot on the mark here for a second session qualifying. Last night they ran a 5.10. That's quick.
Okay, let's find out how quick he is this time.
Good run for Steve Reed. A bit of smoke, but Sharon's down the deep end for Mega Power Car Care.
Steve Reed, your ET dropped off there, 5.159. Is the wind a problem out there?
No, I don't know why it dropped off. We expected it to go quicker, so I don't know what the story is there.
As we move on to the third and final qualifying session, we have only one Top Fuel qualifier coming out for this session here, Monica, and that happens to be the man who was in trouble for the entire weekend, Robin Kirby.
That is right. Now, he's had 2 qualifying runs, one on Friday night, one earlier today, and now he's still in 5th position. He's blown 2 blower belts off this car. He needs a good run, so if he doesn't move out of fifth position, he meets Darren DeFilippo in the first round. That's a tall order.
That's a super tough order, I can tell you now, for Robin Kirby. Right now, the concentration on board this driver is simply immense, including the whole crew. Everybody has worked on this car to the best of their ability. The idea of this is to get the car down the racetrack in record time for qualifying.
Okay, this is session 3 of Greenhouse Superstores qualifying with Robin Kirby in the Tectolite Performance Coolants lane.
Keep an eye on Robin Kirby. It should be a good run for Robin Kirby this time round.
Oh, well, Robin Kirby stays in 5. Sharon's down the deep end again for Mega Power Car Cam products.
Robin, an improvement on your ET there, 5.321, but not an improvement on the place, still keeps you at 5th.
Yeah, well, that's a little bit disappointing for us. Broke a couple of blowabouts early on in the piece, but that full run, I was sort of hoping to run a 20 or a teen or something like that, a little bit better, but oh well, we'll just see how we go in the first round and go from there.
Well, the second and third qualifying sessions in top fuel there, and Geoff, Darren DeFilippo, his first run, he didn't run Friday night, came out, ran a 5.05.
Yeah, brilliant, straight off the trailer, but we got used to that with Darren. He comes out one-shot qualifier and bang, does he do it.
Well, he's in the number 1 spot for about 1 minute. Rachelle Splatt came out and ran 5 seconds flat.
Yeah, well, the young lady, Dorrie, her crew chief, or should I say Peter Wildman, he had things all set up. He read the track conditions right and bang, 5.00.
Your old mate Jim Reid in 4th place there?
Yeah, I think Reedy was a little bit off the pace, but they were sort of getting used to things.
We'll talk about drag racing dinosaurs. You and Jim are going to be on the couch right after the break here on Drag Racing Today. Stay tuned. Welcome back to Drag Racing Today. We promised you an Australian legend on the couch. We've got Geoff Pratt, but he's joined by another legend of drag racing. He's the 15-time national top fuel champion, Jim Reid. Welcome to Drag Racing Today.
Thank you, Bruce. Great to be here.
Now, Jim, you've finally got your car back because 5 years ago, tobacco sponsorship, suddenly you lost your ride, but you're back in the Gregory's car.
Yes, Bruce, we realised that winning a championship took a lot of money, a lot of backing. We won the title on our own in 1996. Parked the car, Gregory's walked in the front door and offered us some money to do it all again, and it's like a new lease of life.
Now, you're 15-time national champion. For those few years you were out of it, what did you do? Lawn bowls?
Well, you know, not trying to be smart. There was a lot of times where we perhaps could have, only for the tobacco sponsorship. We were barred from racing for the Australian Championship for 4 or 5 years during that era, and I guess we have a few things we want to prove. We want to get out there and we want to show that we're still not too old to do it. And there's a lot of young ones out there doing it now. And you know, we sort of got a little bit of a kicking in the first round at the Spring Nationals. We had hope for a better showing in our first time back. Our increments down the quarter mile, which a lot of people mightn't understand, were quicker than the actual winner. So we went home looking forward to going to the next round at Melbourne.
Now, Geoff, you've been around drag racing for a long time. Jim Reid's a legend. Your old sparring partner, you've had fights, your best of mates. Tell us about Jim Reid, the drag racer.
Well, Jim's a man that he just absolutely lives and breathes drag racing. He has for as long as I've known him. Everything, his whole family, he's got, even that break that he had, his whole crew is still all there. And that's one of the secrets, is that he's maintained everybody. The whole group is still there working. Last weekend, the old gang was still back there again, and it still works. And while I said that he was a bit off the pace, when he's talked about the increments, the guy never went the whole quarter mile under full power. And that's part of the problem. You had Robin Kirby also not running super hard, as we know. But if you actually looked at the guys raced to about 1,000 feet. And just the cars shook, as Jim would be able to tell you, and you just can't drive them any further. So, in his defence, for the old fella, he didn't do the whole quarter of a mile. So really, under the circumstances, and I've had a look at the stuff, the car did good.
Well, let's talk about the new car, Jim. I mean, how long does it take to get the problems out of it and get you going flat out again?
Look, drag racing's like any form of motorsport. You can hop in them, they can fly. You can hop in them and they'll break your heart. One of the problems we had at Adelaide on the weekend was, and I must add, in the last 3 or 4 years, it's probably the best track I've drove on. We were getting down to 3.2 seconds down the quarter mile, and it was wanting to smoke the back tyres, and then it would grab the racetrack and pick the front end up and hoist me towards the wall. Well, at 248 mile an hour, it was a bit of a thrill. So after being out of it for a while, I decided it was easy to click it off. At my age, you want to come back tomorrow.
All right, talking about racetracks now, the drag strip in Sydney. I know it's something close to your heart. How far away from seeing a drag strip in Sydney, regular meetings, and the championship rounds can get there?
Well, you mentioned, you know, it's vital that we have a drag strip in Sydney to complete the national circuit. And at this moment, we're currently negotiating with the New South Wales government. One of the problems we're running into is the political side of it. We've positively proven that Sydney has to have a racetrack. It can stand on its own, but you know, convincing a government during the year of the Olympics that they should spend another $15 million building a drag strip has proven costly, extremely difficult, but they can't say no because they can't find a reason to say no. 20th of November is the given date that they will give us a definite answer, but knowing politicians, I'm not holding my breath.
Well, if anyone can talk them into it, I'm sure you can. The other thing, of course, about with cancer, you've kicked that.
Well, you know, it's just like a fuel car. You might go out there and you might smoke a few pistons, you might blacken a main bearing or two, and you might blow a blower off. Well, you know, I'm a diabetic, and fortunately for myself, it worked in my favour this time. I had my regular checkups back in March of this year, and they found that I had a few problems when they did some blood tests. I was very, very lucky. I've been told by the doctors that if it hadn't have been for the checkups, that I probably would have been on the death list. They found that I had bowel cancer. The 7th of July, they removed quite an amount of my bowel, and this is the first time I've raced since, and you know, everyone was a bit nervous about it. They thought, well, I go out there, the car shakes, the various things will happen and go wrong, but I feel great about it, and I've been given a clean bill of health. They got the lot.
Well, great to see you back racing. Geoff, you're still not happy with this run. Do you reckon he can go faster?
I know he can go faster, and I've been talking to his crew chief as well, and I know it's going to happen.
Geoff just wants a free T-shirt, that's all.
It's
crew chief, he's looking for a spot on the team.
I've already stolen them already, mate.
All right, Jim, stick around because we're going to talk a bit more about drag racing now, but we're going to go back to round one action from Saturday. Here's some more Top Fuel.
That's right, Bruce. Now let's move into the Tectaloid Top Fuel Elimination Ladder. Now we've got the number one qualifier here, Rachelle Splatt. She ran a 5.002 earlier in qualifying. She's got a bye.
As we see number 3 qualifier, Pommy Steve Reid take on Australian Jim Reid.
We move across to the other side. We have Darren DeFilippo, number 2 qualifier, taking on Robin Kirby, number 5.
As we take a look at the first woman in the world to run over 300 miles per hour, we're talking about Rachelle Splatt, and she's earned herself a bye run in the first round of Top Fuel.
That's right, she was the first woman to run over 300 miles per hour. That's why we call her the Queen of Speed. Now, she actually won this event last year. She won the Spring Nationals in '98. Now, this time she's running in the Greenhouse Superstores lane. As we said, she earned a bye run for being number 1 qualifier with a best of 5.002, 282.3 miles per hour.
Okay, the team did well in qualifying. Now they've got the hot tune-up on board. Can they go for a 4-second pass? We'll find out very shortly for Rachelle Splatt there, Monica.
Well, it would be very nice to see. She brings the car into stage.
There it is. Rachelle Splatt runs a 4.95, 410 kilometres per hour. And have a look at the crew. Are they one happy bunch or not, Monica? And they earned it all the way. Let's go back to the Tectaloid slow motion replay. Look at this Top Fuel dragster walk all over the track and still record a brilliant 4.95.
Rachelle, congratulations. 4-second pass, 4.953. How do you feel?
I feel excellent. That was just fantastic. It was quicker than what I thought it was. They said, how was it? I thought average, but it was great to find out it was a 4.95.
Well done to Rachelle, through to the semi-finals. Now we've got Robin Kirby here for the Tectaloid Performance Coolants lane. He was the number 5 qualifier with problems in earlier qualifying. And then we go over to the Greenhouse Superstores lane. It's the rookie, Darren DeFilippo. He's number 2 qualifier.
Okay, number 2 qualifier, the Redback sponsored Top Fuel dragster, taking on the Greenhouse Superstores lane. This young rookie here, they've got a tall order ahead of him, taking on, as you mentioned, Robin Kirby, the reigning Top Fuel champion. We go back to Darren DeFilippo. He is actually the national ET record holder. He holds it at 4.83 seconds, Monica.
Super quick. He was also the runner-up at the 99 Nationals and also 98-99 runner-up Top Fuel Series champion.
Okay, keep an eye on this run, folks. Keep your eye on the start line. Darren DeFilippo in flames takes it with a 5.11, and there is no more for Robin Kirby. He is out for the weekend, but Darren DeFilippo through for the next round. Let's take a look at the Tectaloy slow motion replay. These guys are out of control, but it was Darren DeFilippo who had the reaction time off the start line. Now watch his Top Fuel dragster start to weave and wander all over the racetrack. Now a head is torched on the engine. There's the explosion, but he takes the race.
Darren, you came through the first round with an ET of 5.116, but what happened out there?
Oh, we had a bit of a clutch fire happen, but that is good. The Redback Performance Exhaust car. First time on the car like a big sponsor, and we're into the final because next round's a solo, so it doesn't get much better than that.
Congratulations.
Thanks a lot.
Well, lucky for Darren, he's got a solo next round, but we move along to Sandoz Craneston here. Steve Reed is driving for Greenhouse Superstores lane. Over to the veteran, it's Jim Reed in the Tectaloy Performance Pools lane.
And have a look at that Top Fuel dragster of Jim Reed. It looks absolutely superb down there. Have a look at that presentation. Take nothing away from Santos Crane's Pommy Steve Reed. This is going to be a pearl of a Top Fuel round.
You're not wrong. Now, Steve Reed, he ended up in number 3 qualifying position. He ran a best of a 5.10, 241 miles per hour. Back to Jim Reed in the Tectaloy lane, the Red Gregory's machine. He qualified in 4th with a 5.20.
I can't get over that injector hat on board that Top Fuel dragster there. A superb piece of machinery, I can tell you now. We go back to Jim Reed, as we mentioned. This guy, the whole entire crew have been working feverishly all weekend, and this is the final output. Have a look at this. Jim Reed, the last time we saw him at Adelaide International Raceway was way back in 1995, and as we mentioned before, he is the 15-time Australian Top Fuel champion.
Now the winner of this pairing goes through to the semi-finals of Tectaloy Top Fuel. Keep your eyes on the start line. Jim Reed, you're out. Sharon's down the deep end with Steve for Mega Power Car Care product.
Steve, you said you weren't going home too early tonight. ET 5.088.
Oh, I was picking up a little bit. We found a problem there earlier on, which it seems we cured that, and it's the clutch just locked up at the end there, so obviously we might find another problem as well, and we'll go back and fix that, and let's hope we'll take out Rachelle next round.
Top Fuel action there from round 1, and Rachelle Splatt, she just keeps going faster and faster, Geoff.
4.95, man, that was serious.
And Darren DeFilippo, the reigning champion, Robin Kirby.
Well, he just beat Robin, as I talked to you about earlier. Robin just can't power all the way down the track yet.
Steve Reed going better, and Jim Reed, well, not going better.
Oh man, snoozed on the line. I've never seen it before.
Give me a break, Geoff, give me a break. It wasn't a snooze, it was the most freakish thing that I've had happen to me in 35 years. Norm, and most Top Fuel drivers will tell you, you don't breathe after you pull on the first light. You take a deep breath, you put the face mask down, you pull on the second light. I've never had anyone simultaneously pull on the second light, identical to me. I breathed out, I should know better. My mask fogged, it was all over. Pommy left on me, and I'm still facing the embarrassment.
You will continue to. I could have thrown a lot quicker than that.
You had a cop plenty from Geoff. All right, time for a break here on Drag Racing Today. When we come back, semi-final action from Top Fuel. Okay, time to get back to the racing now. Here are the semi-finals of Top Fuel.
That's right. Now let's move into the Tectaloy Top Fuel elimination ladder. We've seen the first round. Now we move into semi-finals. Rachelle Splatt taking on Pommy Steve Reed.
That will be a brilliant pairing. Can't wait to see it. As we move to the other side of the ladder, we see Darren DeFilippo on a bye.
Now here he is, Darren DeFilippo in the Redback Performance Exhaust Top Fuel dragster here in the Tectaloy Performance Coolants lane.
Yes, and Darren DeFilippo will have an automatic pass through to the final. So it's going to be very exciting to find out a little bit later on who is going to be the actual winner here tonight at Adelaide International Raceway.
Well, Darren DeFilippo, the national ET record holder with a brilliant 4.83 second pass. Now let's check it out here. Darren DeFilippo, I love the paintwork on board that helmet.
Oh, I love the complete car. In fact, the entire crew, they do a superb job. Keep an eye on the car on the start line here. As you can see, fully staged. He'll get the green light for the drag race. What a launch from the car, but he buttons off and he saves it for the next round of racing.
That's the safe thing to do, Michael.
Yes, we go back to the slow motion replay. Look at that car twist and torque off the start line. Superb stuff once again. Now he only goes back to idle, keeps the car going on down the racetrack. He will save all the power and maintenance for the finals.
Mike Scheid caught up with Darren down the deep end for Mega Power Car Care products.
Darren, that was an interesting one. The people at the start thought your launch was pretty fearsome.
Yeah, she took off all right and started to do a bit of a wheel stand, so I thought, hey, that'll do. You know, we've done one once before. Wouldn't like to do another one.
That's fair enough.
Yeah, no, it's going good. We'll be right for the final.
Now let's move along to Steve Reed here. Now there's team owner Sandra Rapasada shaking Steve Reed's hand. Behind him, crew chief Ray Ward.
Yes, and Ray keeping an eye on the starting program there for the top fuel engine. Okay, this is going to be a superb semi-final. This is the second pairing of the Texaloy semi-final as we see a beautiful burnout from that top fuel drag
Oh
star.
yes, and once again it was Steve the Pommy Reed for the Texaloy Performance Callers Lane. Now here's the Queen of Speed, Rachelle Splatt for Valvoline Cummins.
Did you hear that engine in full cry and that burnout? Superb. In fact, these machines, 6,000 horsepower apiece. Remember, 6,000 horsepower. We've got 12,000 horsepower about to be let loose on Adelaide International Raceway.
And now block your ears, folks, that this is going to be a loud one. Have a look at Rachelle. Concentration plus on her eyes.
Yes, Rachelle, she's been drag racing for about 8 or 9 years, started off in the US of A and has done extremely well for Australia and also in the US of A. We go back to Pommy Steve Reed. Have a look at the eyes on that drive, as you saw, a very keen eye. But now both drivers are in, coming up towards the stage line area. There's Ray Ward on the green light for the drag race.
Steve Reed's got big problems. Rachelle's through to the final. Mike Scheid's down the deep end for Mega Power Car Care products.
Well, Rachelle, how's it going for you tonight?
Fantastic. Every car here is a very hard cars to beat this time, and our car's just running fantastic, and very happy with it and very happy with the crew.
And you're obviously enjoying the race.
Yes, I am enjoying it very much.
All the best for the rest.
Thanks a lot.
Semi-final action there in top fuel, and Geoff, Darren DeFilippo, he had to buy a run but still had problems.
Well, he really didn't. He just launched it hard at around $5,000 to a quarter of a mile. You don't want to wreck the car for the final.
Now Rachelle Splatt got rid of Steve Reed pretty easily.
Well, yes, she did, but she still ran a great number of 5:01. But the Pom, he busted the crank, mate. So there's nowhere to go, and Rachelle would have blown him away anyway.
What do you think of the runs, Geoff?
I thought they were excellent till half track, till a couple of mishaps, and you know, you've got to appreciate something here. I mentioned before about my car spinning the back wheels. When you start to spin the back wheels madly, that can create that situation where both those cars had major engine explosions. It can create a situation where the engines load up, you get a hydraulic situation, bingo, out comes the crankshaft.
All right, it's all set up for a great final. Rachelle Splatt against Darren DeFilippo. We'll take a break here on Drag Racing Today. When we come back, Geoff Pratt with Life in the Fast Lane and the Top Fuel final. Thanks, Geoff. Let's get back to the racing, and this is round one of the Australian Top Fuel Championship. This is the final, Darren DeFilippo against Rachelle Splatt.
Well, now it's time for Texaloy Top Fuel Finals. This is the money end of the night, Michael. Darren DeFilippo here in the Redback Performance Exhaust Machine for the Texaloy Performance Coolant Lane. He's taking on the Queen of Speed. It's Rachelle Splatt for the Greenhouse Superstores Lane.
And what a final it's going to be. I can't wait to see the outcome of this event once again. Rachelle Splatt, this is the very final time you'll see her at Adelaide International Raceway. I can tell you her drag racing experience has been splendid. Let's go back to Darren DeFilippo, the rookie. Can he take out the 1999 Spring Nationals at Adelaide International Raceway? We're about to find out very shortly, Monica.
We will, Michael. Now check it out. Rachelle Splatt, #1 qualifier, low ET, top speed. She ran a 5.002, 282 miles per hour. Darren DeFilippo in the Redback Performance Exhaust Machine, he was #2. 1 meets 2 in the final.
And that's how it should work out on paper. It has now worked out in life on the drag strip. This is going to be the final of finals, ladies and gentlemen. Can't wait till the light turns green. It's all about to happen at Adelaide International Raceway. This is it.
Carnage, Darren DeFilippo. Darren takes the win with a 5.19. He's got major problems as well down the deep end.
There's the sportsmanship between the crews. They know who's the winner. Here we go to the slow motion replay for Tectoloy once again. We have a look at both machines get away from the start line. Darren DeFilippo gets away well. As you see there, Rachelle Splatt, a big, huge explosion from the engine. That is drastic for Rachelle Splatt. Now, let's go from another angle once again for the Tectoloy slow motion replay. Let's keep our eyes on Rachelle Splatt's machine. As she goes by, there it is. The engine explodes big time. That is drastic for Rachelle Splatt.
That is major problems for Rachelle. So as we saw, Darren DeFilippo took the win for top fuel for Tectoloy.
What a way to go. This has been a brilliant event once again. I love the look at this car. Have a look at that. You couldn't ask for more at a top fuel final.
Okay, we see it once again from the deep end of the racetrack. Darren DeFilippo's out from right at the start. Rachelle Splatt, look, the flames go out right now. Boom!
Yes, I believe the engine would have locked up there and then, and that created the huge explosion there for Rachelle Splatt. We go back to Darren. He loses it down the deep end of the racetrack, but takes the win here tonight at Adelaide International Raceway. Congratulations to you, Darren, and the entire team. You've done well.
Rachelle, we're looking down here, we're seeing blower belts hang off and all the rest of it. That was one wild ride for you.
Yeah, it was. I mean, it wasn't as good as the ones before, but don't really know what went wrong yet. We've just sort of been in the dark down there, so we've just got to go back and pull it apart and see the damage that's been done, but I think it's a bit.
It looks as though it could be. Look, fantastic career. Thank you for all the great entertainment you've done for us.
Thanks very much, and thanks to everyone out there that's followed me and watched me race.
Darren, a bit of a hot end to it all there.
If you're going to win, you might as well do it spectacular.
You did it.
Yeah, what can I say? The Redback Fueler done a good weekend.
Congratulations on your finals win.
Thanks a lot. Thank you.
Well, a very explosive top fuel final there. And Geoff, Darren DeFilippo, he coasted to a win, but major problems.
Yeah, he really did. As we saw in the previous pass, there was flames, everything out of the car. This time the clutch totally went away, buzzed up the engine, and man, that's what happens.
Well, he coasted home, Jim, and what happens when everything goes wrong and you're just rolling down the track?
Oh, top fuel driver's nightmare, Bruce. Your first inclination when something goes wrong is to what we call get the laundry out. That's the parachute. And that's the first thing you shouldn't do, because when you're in a final, if both cars are blown up, you want it to coast. Let me tell you, trying to get to the end of the quarter mile and hoping the other car doesn't come by you, you're right on edge the whole time. Stupid thing about it is we all grab the brake. 30 years of experience, the first thing we want to do is stop it because it's on fire.
Well, of course, a disappointing run for Rachelle Splatt as well. Geoff, her last run in Adelaide, it's not what she would have wanted to give the fans.
No, she was obviously pretty upset at the end of the track. Spoke to her afterwards. She got pretty philosophical about it. She broke the crank. 3 runs old, that crank. But she was on the money all day, and I really thought she was going to do it. But what do? Crank's broke. There's no tomorrow.
No, there certainly isn't. Now, Jim, thanks for coming in. Now, you've been out of drag racing for a couple of years, but top fuel, that's your pet bracket. How do you see the state of it in Australia at the moment?
Well, Bruce, until we get a track in Sydney, I don't see it improving. You've got to have enthusiasm. You've got to have a national circuit that covers all capital cities to be able to create national sponsors, and you've got to have national television. None of that's there at the moment.
Let's hope it can happen. Jim, thanks for joining us, and good luck for the rest of the season.
Thanks, Bruce.
That wraps up drag racing today for another show. Hope you've enjoyed it. Plenty of top fuel action. We'll see you next time on Drag Racing Today.
I'm a drag junkie from way back. I love it.
Drag racing, we're here.